Good morning, everyone. Time for our morning dew and another ramble. This morning, I'm going to talk about posturing, and before I go further, I'm going to say that I intentionally did not put in the title of this video or in the tags or anywhere else in the description the name Robin Williams, even though it's going to come up in this video a little bit because the circumstances that I'm going to talk about happened around the death of Robin Williams. It's not about him, and although I am actually not against view whoring in general, I got a little sick of view whoring as it pertains to Robin Williams and people using their reaction to get attention, especially on Facebook, not so much on YouTube, even though there's been a little bit of it. You know, people using his death for views. The attention whoring on Facebook that I experienced trying to read down my personal homepage thread, it was massive. And many of you, maybe you only have like 300 Facebook friends, you know, because you only have 300 real friends in life. But I opened up my Facebook to anyone who's a fan of my YouTube channel and anyone who's a friend of their friend or whatnot. You know, so I've got like over 2,500 Facebook friends. So whatever you're experiencing with R.I.P. Robin Williams, I'm experiencing like 10 times over. Okay? So it's just like a massive, everyone wanting to express how Robin Williams affected them. And, you know, the worst is actually when you see for days on end before that people going, best rock band ever, go. Best sad movie ever, go. And then you see people start with best Robin Williams movie ever, go. You know, and it's just whoever posts that wants responses, you know. And there's variants, like, hey, me and my boyfriend are going to be watching, you know, a marathon, and we're starting with this movie, what should we watch next? But it's all, give us attention because this thing that has nothing to do with us happened. Give us attention, give us attention. And I got a little overwhelmed, you know, and normally I'd be right there with them, and I was, before I got overwhelmed, I was actually a part of it. And this is where Robin Williams fits into this. This video is about posturing on the internet, because it's been a very huge theme in this week for me, and it's really affected my point of view and my perspective while trying to enjoy the internet. My personal interactions with people, my girlfriend's interactions with people, where people just seem to be posturing in order to put themselves on a higher pedestal and make themselves seem as intelligent about a subject as possible, and, you know, bring you down, you know, with condescension and jockeying for position and just posturing in general. So, August 11th, the day Robin Williams died, I had seen a few R.I.P. Robin Williams, and I saw a few news postings, but it wasn't as bad as when I later got sick of seeing it. I posted, so, the guy who's on every top 10 list of funniest comedians ever, and he got so depressed he killed himself. Now, to me, when I posted that, I was expressing the irony of it. You know, funny guy, so depressed he killed himself. Two disparate facts, right? Extremely disparate, in my opinion, especially for this person. Like, this is a theme in comedy, right? It's a common thread A lot of people have commented about how, this is not just a problem with Robin Williams. But for me, it seems like this particular guy, wild extremes there. Very, very funny guy. Depressed. So, a couple of comments later. One comment that was jockeying for position stood out to me the most, because a lot of people took this as their opportunity to just spew out all their knowledge about depression. Just like I'd opened the door, and people were just going to keep talking about, things that they don't think that I know. Or things they think that the public needs to hear, and here's a forum, this guy opened the door for it, so let's just put as much information as we know because it makes us look smarter. And and maybe I'm not seeing their intention, or maybe they're not seeing their subconscious need for attention. But once the conversation starts, it seems like there's motives, right? People just want to seem smart about the subject. So the one that stood out the most to me was from Jeannie Frankenweenie. And she said, "Clearly you lack understanding of depression." And that comment got 3 likes out of, I don't know, could have been all 250 or 2,500 people who are friends with me saw it. I don't know. But 3 people liked it. One of them, personal friend of mine in real life. Clearly I lack an understanding of depression. I can't just be commenting on the extreme nature of this irony. I must lack an understanding of depression. I don't understand that this is a common thread among people. Clearly. And it was at that point, the 4th comment in this thread of many, many, many comments, that I completely lost interest because of the posture. Because, let me grab this for you guys. One of the majors I completed for my degree, that was psychology. And there's actually a university that has a vested fucking interest in making sure that on my way to getting that major completed, I must have learned about depression. It's a given. It's standard. Everyone who finishes a major in psychology will have at least a rudimentary understanding of depression. Okay? So I don't need to be told that depression is a severe mental illness. Many people suffer from depression. Depression can strike in any sort of person. Mental illness can pop up anywhere. Doesn't matter what the factors are. I get that. All right? I don't need to hear it 100 times from people. And it really seemed to me like posturing rather than me really needing to hear this from people. Especially when I'm commenting on the irony, not, oh my goodness, I don't understand this. So I tried to put it another way, so that people would understand that I'm going for the irony. That's what I'm talking about, right? So I write, Patch Adams, What Dreams May Come. The star of these movies killed himself? Okay, and Patch Adams, he's a doctor. Do no harm, heal everyone, very nice guy, PG, right? In What Dreams May Come, he plays a guy who, when he dies, he has to go through hell to find the spirit of his wife who committed suicide. And he has to rescue her from a hell in there and bring her back to whatever level of heaven it is in that weird concept of the afterlife, right? This guy who played those roles then goes and kills himself after playing those roles. Very ironic, right? Nobody gets it. And they continue on as if they need to show that their understanding of the subject matter is far greater. And they need to comment in ways that are very condescending. And yeah, so it tied in with a bunch of other experiences that I've had in the past week. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. Whether you think I'm right or wrong about anything that I said about Robin Williams, what I want you to take from that experience is I experienced people being condescending and seemingly trying to make me feel less than them, jockeying for position and all that and all that. That's all. The Robin Williams thing I don't want to talk about. It's enough people will view whore with that. Just take the posturing, okay? My next example would be my girlfriend had a couple posts that she did where some people from YouTube have friended her because they were friends with me on YouTube. And they found out I had a girlfriend, like, oh my goodness, gotta send her a friend request, find out, Agent of Doubt's girlfriend. So that she accepted a couple of them, and some of her posts, she also has been condescended to, and sometimes I'll be telling her, this particular guy, he just talks that way, and he isn't very social, and he just is like an encyclopedia vomiting at you sometimes, and you have to look past that for this one. But it got to a level where I was like, yeah, it looks like people are just trying to make themselves out to be smarter. Like, hey, here's an introduction to me. I'm smarter than you. And I know, and I can back it up with fucking research and citations in a Facebook comment, and take days to write a fucking novel and post it like, wow, dude, you really want to show that you have mastered this subject. And that's another example. I'm going to set that aside. Free thinker on ice. Talking to me as though I don't understand the difference between quality and quantity because of my stating that I use YouTube subscriptions and views as a measure of content quality, and I use it as a measure and my best measure of content quality, right? When I asked him to please explain what else he would use, as content quality measures, he seemed very condescending to me. And the conversation starts by me, finding a comment on somebody else's video where he says that I'm overrated. So of course, I'm already seeing the position jockeying here, and one of his sentences, whether you think that I'm right about quality or he's right about quality, one of his sentences started with, "I hate to be the one to break this to you." And just that one phrase, I'm like, why do people on the internet think that they're the first person to have ever told you something about this? And why do they take every opportunity to talk to someone like as if they are going to be, breaking virgin ground and just giving you a great class in whatever they think they know? Why? especially of late. Why? As an external show of my credentials in knowing what quality is, for over a decade I've worked as a metrologist, so I know the difference between quality and quantity, precision and accuracy. I know all of that, and I feel very confident in that. But it is my position that there are so many different measures of what quality is here on YouTube that to put yourself through the ringer of everyone's different measure of quality and just go by views and subscriptions, you can see pretty much a cross-section of all different kinds of measures of quality in those people who get more views. Now, of course, people are going to throw out the outliers like Onision and Shane Dawson and people who create stupid for stupid, and they're going to say, well, that's not quality videos. Well, it's quality videos to those people who enjoy a stupid moment. Okay? There are, people who will deride Thunderfoot and say that he doesn't deserve the views that he gets. Because I use that as one of my examples, because I consider us to be in the same genre of channel. And the other examples that I used, people will deride them and say, well, they have this wrong, this wrong, this wrong. Well, they're doing a lot right. They're putting a lot of production polish on it. They're being concise. They're practicing what they're going to say, and they're not rambling like I am right now. They're doing things that I can show you that's why they are a little bit better. And maybe you're rooting for an underdog that still hasn't been discovered yet, but I would say, please look at that undiscovered musical master that you think is so much better than the popular stuff, and really consider, well, maybe everyone else has just used their own standard of quality and decided the popular one is actually the one for them. And I don't always get it. I don't always understand why certain things are valued by so many people. That doesn't mean that that thing doesn't have quality, just means that my measures of quality don't apply. When I use views and subscriptions as my measure of quality, I'm putting myself at the mercy of popular quality measures, and the variety of quality measures. And I'd love for people who are a little bit more discerning to like my stuff too. I would. But how do you judge who's discerning or not? I don't think that Freethinker on Ice is discerning. It's gotten to the point where I just think that he's a prick, and I've discounted his whole opinion of me. There's not much I can do with his long opinion as far as changing the way that I do things. Because I like the way I do things, and I have many reasons for liking this way of doing things. But it starts really with, I hate to be the one to break this to you. As if I have gone, I guess, like a chicken with my head cut off, running blind this far. And then you're going to be the one that tells me, this is what you're doing wrong. Instead of realizing I made a decision as an adult to do things that way. Next example. Carmel 1119, Kizzume, and a video by Unworshipediety about all those. Now, I think Kizzume's original video that I had never really recognized as Carmel 1119 prior to Kizzume saying, please leave me alone. I think Kizzume's video was a little bit of jockeying. by saying, this one person is so disgusting, leave me alone. But it's also, in a public forum, when somebody does that, it's saying, hey, everybody else, I don't want this person messing with me. Maybe you don't want to either, So, Unworshipediety does a video where he's talking about how he's whittling down his friends that don't believe in feminism, and Kizzume being one of them. And I look at this. This person says this, so I don't like them, and then somebody says that about that person, and then it's a giant chain of social interaction where people are just trying to create a pecking order, of who's worthy of their time and who's not. And this has been my experience on the internet. Those are just some examples. Like, I could go and make 100 where I am just immediately drawn to, okay, the base fact of the matter is, this person says this person's not worth your time. Or this person thinks that he's so much smarter than this person. And beyond that, there really isn't much substance to any of the arguments at all. It's just vying for position. And going back to the issue of quality, one of the reasons why I don't have views and subscribers like somebody else who's worked as long as I have at their channel, one of those reasons is I've checked out of the vying for position game. I don't care to really bring other people down to put myself ahead anymore. When I see something that I really care about the argument, that's when I talk about it. Instead of jumping on, hey, Robin Williams died. That's a way for me to, show that I know more about other people and more about subjects that just popped up in our popular. I don't want to do that. I don't want to tell anyone that they don't know a lot about a subject. I want to tell people why I disagree with them. And because of that, that's basically checking out of a bit of the social nature of YouTube. It really does isolate a channel to not try to jockey against other channels. And being more social gets you more views because it exposes you to more audience. So in that way, I've made a decision about what I personally value as a quality of my videos versus just straight up using views and subscriptions and just using that quality. I have many different conflicting at times measures of quality. I moved a cardboard box from behind me because I turned on my camera before I hit record. I was like, I don't really want that cardboard box behind me, and I shut the door. This time I shut the door. Sometimes it doesn't bother me. This time it did, and I would have felt like there was less quality to the video had I left that cardboard box there. Other people, I've seen some fucking pigsties behind people before. Some YouTubers that I love to watch. And also I've seen a trend for the bookshelf being behind you because it makes you look smart. Even though that bookshelf right there is just paintings that I've done and have yet to sell. And some of those books right there are DVDs, and it looks better than a cardboard box. going forward, if you see a trend in me to be a little bit more isolated as a channel and just give my opinions not based on what's popular at the time, but what matters to me, and it doesn't seem to be growing my view count as much. Just try to understand that I do have another measure of quality that I'm going by, and it is very influenced by being sick of pecking orders and being sick of clicks on YouTube and groupings and the rub from one popular person to another, and I just want to speak free of all that because I got sick of it. The last two videos that I saw that had great content, and I'll just this is just random shout out at the end. Muskoka Man put out a parody video of a country song called "On the Christian Bullshit Mountain," link below, and the Skeptical Heretic made a very good analogy about something that the group American Atheists did, and I'll leave a link to that. And I thought both of those were strong in their own way, and other than that, most of the videos that I've seen on YouTube and the experiences that I've had on Facebook, I haven't enjoyed as much. You know, those two stand out to me this week as being the best that I've seen, both in their own way. Laters.